Okay, folks, I'm going to show you today how to make bacon. My husband loves bacon. Today I'm going to be doing pork bacon, but I love turkey bacon. So you can also do this with turkey bacon. All right, so this is about 21 inches wide. It's like 21 by 15. And it's a baking tray with one of these, I guess you could call it a drying rack, okay? And then here I have a piece of aluminum. I have two pieces. And what I did here was I put them together and I folded them over twice. Okay? And then I'm going to spread them out. This is hard to do with one hand, so like that. And I'm going to put this in the bottom of the tray. Okay, so there's what we have now. And now it's time for the next step, and that's going to be parchment paper. And that's going to go on top. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold this parchment paper. Okay. I've already measured it to make sure that it's wide enough. Okay, so that's one fold. And then two folds. And then three folds. And then we end up with a strip of parchment paper that's about maybe 4 inches, like that. Then I'm going to take scissors and I'm going to cut at 1 inch intervals all the way across. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start in the middle, then I'm going to go about 1 inch sections like that, all the way across. Then I'm going to do that on the other side, then I'm going to turn it this way and repeat. Now I'm doing the other side. So what we're doing is we're putting slots in this paper, and the reason is we want the bacon grease to drain. Okay, we want it to drain down into the bottom of the pan. So now we take this piece of parchment paper that has the slits cut into it, and we lay it out on top of that rack. Now it's time to put our bacon on. Okay, with this method, I'm able to put 16 slices here. Now it's time to put it in the oven on 375, and we're going to cook it till it's real. Now for some people, that's done. They like their bacon more flexible, I guess you could say. My husband likes crispy bacon, so it's going to have to go a bit longer. I'm baking this at 325. You can go with a higher temperature, but you're going to get more smoking, and you don't really want that. So it does take longer at 325, but that's just what we do here. So what you're going to notice is the pieces will cook a little unevenly depending on how thin or how thick each piece is. Some of these are more done than others. In my opinion, still not done. My husband likes crispy bacon, but my test is pick it up in the middle, and if it bends, it's really not done, according to his standards anyway. So, I'm going to pop these back in for a few minutes. Now, when you have pieces like this that are pretty much straight when you pick them up, the fattier pieces might have just a little more bend. You know, then you've got what's considered crispy bacon. These are a little more rubbery, you know, and they're heavier. And so I'm going to take off the pieces that are crispy and straight, okay, like that when it's pretty much straight. And cook the ones that have a little more bend just a little longer. So there, the pieces that have more bend, I'm going to put them in the middle and put them back in the oven. And my husband doesn't know this yet, but he's going to BLT City today. And there's that crispy bacon he loves. Should be straight as a plank almost. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll let the drippings go down into the pan if there are any. There's probably not going to be much. And then the reason for the aluminum foil was to catch this, okay? Now, The old timers would consider that liquid gold. And what you would do is you would pour this into a bowl that can take high heat, like a Pyrex bowl, something like that. And then put a strainer on top of another bowl and strain out any of the bits or whatever, so that you would have a nice smooth bacon grease. And the old timers would use it to make things like lye soap, seasoning like seasoning iron skillets and soups and other dishes. So there we go. We probably have maybe a half a cup there. All right. Now, I've got a strainer in this measuring cup here. I'll pour it through that strainer, okay? And what some folks like to do is take this and pour it into ice cube trays, okay? I said, put it in the freezer, wrap it individually, use it for seasoning and whatnot. There's not a lot. That was not a really fatty bacon. And you'll have even less with turkey bacon. By the way, you can also do this with vegan bacon, like zucchini bacon and things like that. But if you're going to do that, spray the parchment paper with like olive oil or something, and then spray some olive oil on top of the slices. So anyway, now it's time to put together some sandwiches for my dear sweet husband. Okay, so it's time to assemble our sandwich. We've got couple of pieces of toast with a little mayonnaise on both sides. Now would be the time to put down some cheese, some lettuce, some tomato. I use cherry tomatoes in the winter because regular tomatoes are soggy, tomato flavored cardboard as far as I'm concerned. But hey, you know, you do you. If you can eat those winter tomatoes, then eat them. And then I'm going to break some pieces of bacon for him. There we go. All right. Put a piece of cheese on there. Got to have cheese. Cheese is mandatory. All right. There we go. Now we're going to cut it on the diagonal. And there it is, a perfect BLT with cheese. And he's going to love it.